When we step outside, our world is a masterpiece of color. We see so much green in the leaves of trees and the blades of grass that blanket our fields. This green comes from a special substance called chlorophyll, which plants use to turn sunlight into energy. It is the lifeblood of the plant kingdom, and its presence is almost everywhere we look. This makes green one of the most common and reassuring colors in the natural world. It signals life, growth, and the quiet, steady work of nature all around us, from the smallest moss to the mightiest rainforest canopy. Beneath our feet, the ground itself is a rich tapestry of browns and grays. The soil, the rocks, and the bark of ancient trees all share these earthy tones. These colors come from different minerals and decaying organic matter, which are essential for new life to begin. Brown is the color of stability and foundation. It is the very earth that supports all the life we see. It may not be as vibrant as other colors, but it is fundamental, representing the cycle of decay and rebirth that sustains our planet's ecosystems. Then, of course, we have the brilliant bursts of red and yellow. These colors often appear in flowers and fruits, acting as bright signals to insects and animals. A red berry shouts to a bird, "I am ripe and full of energy." A yellow flower calls to a bee, promising sweet nectar in return for pollination. These colors are produced by pigments called carotenoids and anthocyanins, which are relatively easy for plants to create. They are nature's advertisements, vital for reproduction and survival, and they paint the landscape with moments of dazzling, purposeful beauty. Compared to these abundant greens, browns, and reds, other colors play a more subtle role, but they are still part of the grand design. These common colors are the foundation of what we see every day. They are the colors of life, of the earth, and of the signals that keep the natural world turning. They are so widespread because the chemical pigments that create them are easy for living organisms to produce. They are woven into the very fabric of biology, making our world a familiar and beautifully decorated home that we can all recognize and appreciate. While our world is rich with many colors, one is conspicuously rare. The color blue is remarkably difficult to find in the living world. Think about it for a moment. How many truly blue animals can you name? How many blue flowers have you seen in a meadow? Compared to the endless sea of green leaves or the countless brown animals that blend into the soil and trees, blue is a true exception. Its scarcity makes it stand out, a flash of sapphire in a world of emerald and ochre. This rarity is not an accident. It is a result of the very chemistry of life itself. In the plant kingdom, true blue is an incredibly rare achievement. While we might think of flowers like bluebells or hydrangeas, many of these plants are not producing a true blue pigment. They often use clever chemical tricks, modifying red pigments called anthocyanins to appear blue. The plant has to carefully control the acidity of its cells to achieve this effect. It is a delicate and complex process, which is why fewer than 10% of all flowering plant species have blue flowers. It is a color that nature has to work very hard to create in its flora. The same is true for animals. There are very few vertebrates that have blue coloring. We might think of some tropical fish or the feathers of a beautiful parrot, but even these are often not what they seem. Mammals, in particular, almost never produce blue fur. There is no known mammal that has a true blue pigment. The blue-tinged fur of a blue Russian cat is actually a trick of the light on gray hairs. The struggle to create the color blue is a challenge that spans across the entire animal kingdom, from the smallest insect to the largest whale. Even landscapes themselves rarely feature the color blue, except for two magnificent examples, the sky and the sea. But this blue is an illusion. The sky is not blue because it is filled with a blue gas. The ocean is not blue because the water itself is a deep blue liquid. These blues are created by physics, by the way light scatters and reflects. They are a different kind of blue altogether, one that does not come from pigment. The rarity of biological blue makes its appearance in any living thing a truly remarkable and noteworthy event. The secret behind most of the blue we see in nature is not chemical, but physical. It is a phenomenon known as structural color. This means that the blue is not created by a pigment that absorbs other colors. Instead, it is created by the microscopic structure of a surface. These surfaces have tiny, intricate patterns that are so small they interfere with light waves. They are structured in just the right way to scatter blue light back to our eyes while absorbing other colors. It is a brilliant piece of natural engineering, a trick of the light. One of the most stunning examples of this can be found on the wings of the morpho butterfly. These butterflies, found in the tropical forests of Central and South America, are famous for their iridescent shimmering blue. But if you were to grind up their wings, the resulting powder would not be blue. It would be a dull brown. The color comes from millions of microscopic scales on their wings. These scales are shaped like tiny trees, and their structure is perfectly spaced to reflect blue light. It is a fragile and complex architecture that creates this breathtaking color. Birds also use this incredible technique. The brilliant blue of a blue jay, or an eastern bluebird, is not from pigment. Their feathers contain tiny air pockets and a protein called keratin. When light hits these feathers, the structure scatters the blue light, making the bird appear a vibrant blue. Just like with the butterfly, if you were to crush a blue feather, the color would vanish. This is why their color can seem to change depending on the angle of the light, shimmering as the bird moves. It is a living jewel, whose color is built, not mixed. This method of creating color is incredibly efficient. To produce a true blue pigment would require complex and energy-intensive molecules that nature has largely avoided creating. Instead, by evolving these precise microscopic structures, animals can produce brilliant blues using common materials like keratin or chitin. It is a clever solution to a difficult biochemical problem. It shows how evolution is not just about chemistry, but also about physics and engineering on the smallest possible scale. The blue in nature is a marvel of design. Because true blue is so difficult for life to produce, seeing it in nature feels like discovering a hidden treasure. It captures our attention immediately. When a brilliant blue dragonfly darts over a pond, or a tiny blue flower peeks out from a field of green, we cannot help but stop and look. Its rarity gives it a special power. It is a color that does not blend in. It stands out, demanding to be noticed. This is why the few creatures that possess it often use it for important messages, such as attracting a mate or warning off a rival. The human connection to the color blue is deep and significant. For most of our history, blue dyes were incredibly rare and expensive to produce. They were reserved for royalty and religious figures. This has given the color a sense of importance, mystery, and peace. When we see it in the natural world, we carry some of that cultural feeling with us. The blue of a mountain lake or a kingfisher's feather can evoke a sense of calm and wonder. It connects us to the vastness of the sky and the depth of the ocean, the two great blues that frame our world. This rarity also means that when an organism evolves the ability to be blue, it is often for a very specific and powerful reason. There must be a great evolutionary advantage to justify the effort. For the morpho butterfly, its flashing blue wings may startle predators. For the blue-ringed octopus, its vibrant blue rings are a deadly warning that says, "Do not touch." Blue is not a color that nature uses casually. It is a high-impact signal, used only when something important needs to be communicated clearly and effectively. It is a language of emphasis. Ultimately, the scarcity of blue in the living world makes every encounter with it a special event. It reminds us that nature is full of secrets and ingenious solutions. It shows us that color can be created not just from pigments, but from structure and light itself. From the gentle blue of a forget-me-not to the electric flash of a poison dart frog, blue is nature's rare jewel. It is a reminder of the complexity and beauty that exists all around us, often in the most unexpected and breathtaking forms. It is a color that truly makes us marvel.